welcome to Crochet and Beyond. My name is Angela and I'm so glad you joined me here today, and you will learn how to crochet the Snapdragon stitch. In this project here, I am crocheting several different squares. Each square is a different stitch, and if you have been following me here, you already have available in the descriptions below some of the other stitches that I have been showing you. For example, the first 5 here, they are already available for you. The Snapdragon stitch is fairly similar to the aligned shells that I did not long ago, right? The only difference is that instead of having double crochets lining up here, you have a V stitch, and inside each V stitch you will have to build a shell, and then it goes on and off, it alternates, so it gets kind of a little bit zigzaggy. So it has lots of 5 double crochet shells and a lot of V stitches to fit 5 double crochet shells in it. So that forms the Snapdragon stitch. You don't have to stay stuck with my project. This is a very ambitious project. It makes like a huge blanket. So that's not what you have to do. Take the Snapdragon stitch or any of the other stitches and follow the formula, the foundation chain formula I give you, and make anything you want. You can make it as long, as wide. All of them will be or rectangulars or squares, of course, and make something that you can imagine. Make sure that your foundation chain is a multiple of 8 chains plus 5. Multiple of 8 plus 5. Do that in any length you want, and you will always make sure that the shells line themselves up correctly. What kind of yarn am I using? For this project here, I'm using worsted weight yarn. Red Heart is my choice. However, any other worsted weight yarn will do. Now, if you want to do something else, like I'm saying a scarf or a table runner, you may use different kinds of yarn. You can use thinner or you could use thicker. Thank you guys so much, and follow along the video, and I hope you enjoy it. So let's get started by chaining 29 chains. This is how I will start my initial knot. I make a loop. I bring the hook through the loop and make 3 chains. That was 1, 2, and 3 without letting go here. Then I hold on tight, let go of the bottom, pull a knot, and there is my very first chain right there. We want 29 chains, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. And there is 28 and 29. Alrighty, so let go of that hook and pick up the number 5 millimeters. Now here is what I was saying earlier, when I use the hook and keep my chains, when I use a bigger hook and keep my chains fairly loose but not too loose, it becomes quite flexible, and that's a very much desirable chain to work with. You don't want them to be super tight. So let's go on and work the first row. Now there's a lot of double crochet happening here, so you will have to pay attention closely here so you get it right, okay? Now double crochet in the 5th chain from the hook. 5th chain would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right there. Give me a double crochet into that chain. Now skip next 3 chains. 1, 2, 3, and then 5 double crochets in the following. So 1, 2, 3 there. 5 double crochets in that same spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, and there is 5. Yes, it stretches out that chain quite a bit, so if you just pull on the chain, it kind of evens itself out. There always will be a bit of a hole right there, but it honestly is not a problem. Your next step is to do a V-stitch. First of all, skip 3 chains and then do your V-stitch on the following. So there is 1, 2, 3. Your V-stitch will be right there. V-stitch goes a double crochet, 1 chain, and another double crochet in the same spot. That is your V-stitch. Makes sense? So your stitch here is going to look like this. 5 groups of 5 double crochets and V-stitches. Now take a look at the beginning here. You already have a V-stitch going on here. This first chain here, these bunch of chains that came over when you did your first stitch, right? When you did your first double crochet, they formed a disguised double crochet. So this here is already a V-stitch. Just keep that in mind, because when we are finishing row 2, something will happen here. So note that, okay? Now from here, we continue alternating between 5s and V's. 5s and V's. Make sure that every time you go for a new group, whether 5 or V's, you skip 3 chains in the bottom. Okay, so let's go there. Skip 1, 2, 3, and go there. Give me 5 double crochets on that one. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Very good. Give it a pull just to even out that holy that holy chain right there. Now let's go for the V-stitch. 1, 2, 3, skipped. Go there and give me a double crochet, a chain, and another double crochet here. Okay, now skip 3. 1, 2, 3, and give me 5 double crochets on that one. 2, 3, 4, 5. Well done. And then here you skip 1, 2, 3, and you end at the very last one. Now here, pay attention, you have to do a V-stitch there. So chain and another one. Alrighty? So your row starts with a V-stitch here and ends with a V-stitch. Now not every row will be the same. Let's go to row 2. You have to chain 3 first. 1, 2, 3, and then turn. Row 2 starts here. This is your first double crochet, never forget that, okay? 2 double crochets in the very first chain 1 space. That is the chain 1 space that was formed by this V-stitch right here. So you want 2 double crochets right into the space. 1 and 2. Now skip the next 3 stitches, which is 1, 2, 3, and work a V-stitch on the following, which lands right in the middle of the group of 5 double crochets. 5 double crochets in the next chain 1 space. So give me 5 in here now. Enough space here. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Very good. A V-stitch right in the middle of your next group of 5s. I really don't need to count because I see it. It's right there in the middle. It's very, very obvious. But if you're still not sure, then count your stitches. 1, 2, 3, and that's the one. Give me a V-stitch right there. So you see what's happening here? You're building a V-stitch on top of the groups of 5s, and you're building groups of 5s inside a V-stitch. And with that in mind, you will alternate that idea on every row. And it looks very pretty when it's done, doesn't it? Okay, one more here. Ta, right there in the middle. And give me a V-stitch right there. Remember, V-stitch is always a double crochet, a chain, and a double crochet. Okay, what happens at the end here? Listen up. You cannot do 5 here. When we are at the second row, it doesn't end with 5s. The 5s are in the middle. Okay, remember here you had 3? So you have to end with 3. So here we go. Just 3 is your job. 2 and 3. Now there's a little trick here of how much you have to chain when you move to the next row. Make sure that when you're moving into a odd numbered row that you chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sounds good? Because this will form your first V-stitch that you're after, okay? So that is your double crochet and chain already right here. That's why you need 4. Make sure you don't neglect that. Then double crochet in the same stitch right there, super close to where you were at. So it's very close to home. Ready? Then from here again, we eyeball 5 here. And 4 and 5 and then a V-stitch here. Okay? Five here. Yeah, this stitch takes a little longer to explain, so stay there with me. I think by now you probably got the idea. It just can be a little confusing. The edges of the work have to look the same. Right now it looks a little bit of like all uneven, but hey, as the work grows, it does make sense. It does stay more or less on a lined up pattern here on the edge, and then later on when you do an edging, it really, you won't see any unevenness here at all. Okay, we want a V-stitch right here, and then we want 5 here. Other than that, this is one of those stitches that really you can go and go and go, not much thinking, not much fussiness about it. Just make sure that the edges are right. And then here at the end, so listen up, you will have to go to the very end here, which is that last double crochet here, which are those 3 chains in disguise, right? Remember? That's where you will build your V-stitch, right at the top. See, there is your double crochet. That's that first chain right there. That's where you want your V-stitch. So it's a 1 double crochet, a chain, and another double crochet. Now we go back to chaining 3. 1, 2, 3, and we want 2 more here to do the row that has 3 double crochets on its beginning. Correct? Okay, and that would be, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the even numbered stitches. Alrighty, so can I leave you working on your own now? I hope this was clear. And enjoy the process. And let's keep working. And at the end of my desired length here, which is not a big one because this is only a square, I'm gonna meet you again, and then I'm gonna work a very simple a very simple single crochet edging around this sample. And my square is finished. Looks really neat, doesn't it? I love how this stitch alternates the shells with the V-stitches. Looks really adorable. Alrighty, so here we go. I'm gonna show you now how to do a very simple edging. Each corner will have 3 single crochets and 25 single crochets in between. Now I need to stay with 25 here for this project I'm doing because I'm joining this square to other squares to make a blanket. If you are not doing a blanket, then you don't need to be so fussy about 25. You can give and take a little. And obviously if you're doing something bigger or smaller, then totally you have to feel how many you need. And to make sure that you need to decide, not too many, not too few. It kind of usually goes by what's obvious. Fill in the obvious places and then the spaces in between. Because I need 25, yeah, I will join squares, I need to have that exact number. I'm gonna be a bit more particular here, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get you started on the corner. Actually, take a look here. You did your last row. Normally we would chain 3 and turn. This time we only chain 1 and we do not turn. Then go ahead and do 3 single crochets to make your very first corner. 3 single crochets in the same spot. Alright, now look at your border here and see where your other corner is gonna go. And it's very clear that it will be right there. That's where it will be. So in between here, I need to fit in 25 stitches. So to make sure that I don't get to the end here and suddenly I'm like, oh no, I only did 20. Where am I gonna put my other 5? They will have to kind of spread out here somewhere. Okay, so let's see what the obvious places are. Of course, the big ones here, and then there's a slight small ones. Yeah, so if I count these obvious places, let's see how many spaces I get. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So I need a couple more, right? So let's say if I double up in the big spaces, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So pretty much I have to double up all the big ones, right? But I still need 2 more. So let's go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I need 1 more. So let's say right there I'm going to do a double as well. So double up in all the big ones and double up in the middle. And then I'll get the 25 I want. Alrighty, so let's do it. Okay. 1, 2. There is a big one. 3, 4. 5, 6. I say that's a big one, but this is a bigger one. That's the one you double up. 7 and 8. 9, 10, 11 and 12. 13. I am gonna double up right here. 14, 15, and then 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. There we go. Okay, now that's my corner. So go for 3 single crochets in it. 2 and 3. Now let's move on to the second side of the border here. So you do the same thinking process here, and every side looks slightly different, right? So you always have to take a look at where your spaces are to insert the hook and make your single crochets happen. So first of all, look into the corner here and decide where that corner is gonna be. So it's very clear to me that it will be right here. Big one right there. Now look into your spaces here and estimate more or less where the spaces are that you will insert the hook, and some of them it's very clear to me here that I'll have to double up or maybe even triple up. All right, so the ones on the sides of the shell, the 5 double crochet shell, I could definitely do 3. So let's see, 1, 2, 3. Here we'll do 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm gonna do 1 here. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. I'll do only 2 at the end. So that should work. So only one single crochet here at the bottom of the V stitches, 3 in the big holes, and 2 at the bottom of the 5s. Alrighty. So that's my reasoning around the whole thing. Okay, now this is another point here. There is this tail here from when you started, remember? I like to single crochet it. I like to crochet it into my single crochet edge. So then later on I just snip off the tiny little edge that's gonna be left and I don't have to weave it in later. You don't have to, you might wanna just leave it behind like that. Then later on you have to do the weaving in, but I think this kinda is a good idea to keep it right there by the edge. All right, so let's get going. 3 here in the big one. See, I keep it in there so that it weaves in naturally. 2. And there is a 3. Here I'll do 2, 4, 5. Very good. 6, 7, and 8. Then here I'm gonna do 1, 9, 10, 11, 12, 2 here, 13, 14, then here we go, 15, 16, 17, and this is already too short, so I leave it behind. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. There we go. And I think my corner is gonna be right there. Earlier I said the big one here was gonna be my corner, but I think it looks better if I do it here. So there we go. 3 single crochets in this corner. And there is the other edge, which should be similar to the one you just done here. Again, estimate where your corner is gonna be. That will be right there, and give me 25 right here. You may use the same way as you done in the bottom. Okay, so I'm gonna leave you working on that one here, and then we're gonna finish up together the last border. Alrighty, there we go. Give me 3 right there. And then move on to the other side. So here is your last row. So pretty much count every stitch and see if that makes close to 25. You might have to double up a couple, but maybe not. I never really know. So let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Right on the dot again. Good job. So make sure you do put 2 inside the V-stitch. Alrighty, let's get this to the end. Here we go. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8. Very good. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, 15, 16, 17, oops, 18, 19, 20, good job, almost at the end, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. There we go, that worked. Already join with a slip stitch and all done. Okay, now snip that edge off. Oops, there we go. Pull through, make a knot. All right, and weave in the end. The other side here, if you crocheted it into the border, then you just have to snip. If you left it behind, then go ahead and weave it in the same way as I'm gonna weave in this one. All right, Plastic needle with a dual point and a big eye, that's all you need. Okay, now here we go. Sneak it in right into the bottom of those single crochets that you just done. Okay, and I usually go until my yarn is up. Okay, come along. And that's that. Nice. Alrighty, so this makes a very beautiful stitch too, doesn't it? So this is a very easy stitch. You can just go and go and go, and it works very smoothly. So if you have a brilliant idea and you want to work this stitch with, once you're done, or if you're doing it as you do it, take pictures. I like to see the process of you building something that will use this stitch. Post those pictures on my group. The link is in the description below, so you can join us on Facebook group and then post your pictures yourself. Alrighty, so good job, give it a try, and let me know what kind of project you're gonna try with this stitch. Thank you, see you soon.